Hello, everyone. Anyone who actually looks at this, I guess what it is I want to say is I've been doing this for a long time. And when I was a kid, it was a lot easier, honestly, because I can make the people trying to kill me look like a pedophile, because a lot of them were. Now, it's in a different ballpark. Like, for me, I used to do pretty much anything to try to get their attention. Anything. It didn't matter. Anything. Because I knew I was right. That's how I know those things happen to me. Because sometimes I'd be looking at it from the wrong side, looking in. And when you see it from that side, it's hard to say you didn't see it. It's harder for others to understand that you did. And that's where the worst of the worst like to thrive. Once they think you're a kid with issues, they try to get away with anything. Anything. They just gotta know that you're someone who could be considered expendable. Like I said, that was another time. Man, there are even kids my age who knew what it is that I was doing, and I even explained it to them because I'm like, fuck it, it don't really matter. I'm not really even a person right now. The only other people who could understand that are like pretty much women who can understand that they're being seen for their genitals for fuck's sake. Because yes, if you're an Indian, that's pretty much why you have a CIB at this point. There's no other way around it. So, but I did everything I possibly could, and I seen it. I seen how they treat people. It was an experiment for me. Yes, I was suicidal when I was a kid, but for the most part, I just tried my best to try to utilize those feelings in a way where not only that I could benefit from, but maybe I could even help others with. I mean, there were even times where I had friends who even knew that I was even suicidal at the time. But I mean, it's hard walking away from that stuff whenever you feel that way. But I guess one of the main reasons I have this on here is because I've baited them out so far, and I kind of feel like maybe they're just mad and angry and jealous that someone who isn't a cop can do it. Just why I don't regret a thing. Not a single fucking thing. All the shit I had to endure, all the things I had to fucking see, all the shit that I had to go through. I don't regret it. It was vicious, even violent sometimes. Terrible. But I got the job done. I'm still here. Could have been worse. And it's the same motto I've put several times on my channel. I don't need friends. Shit. I just need to get this shit done. Not about being, famous or popular or any of that bullshit. It's all that shit's a bunch of lies whenever people aren't being treated like people. It's just there to appeal to those who fucking ignore the fact that there is such a thing happening. So if anything, if anything, with all these videos and all these things I've left behind, because you never know. Like, some weird shit's happened to me before. Like, people could literally come at night when I'm sleeping and shit and fuck with me because of what I know and how I know it and what it is I had to put them through in order to fucking survive because they were trying to fucking eat me. And I've tried explaining it to authorities, everything. It's just I always end up getting the bad cops first. They always want to act like your buddies, you know? Like, oh, let me help you out, buddy. Let me get you out of there, buddy. Let me just take all that credit for what it is that you're doing, buddy. All right, let me just put it all in here, and okay, now we can get rid of you. Kind of bullshit. And it's mainly because the things I'm saying go against what it is they choose to believe it in that way. But I don't care. Even now, I'm not too phased about having like only like 10 views of my videos. It's like for someone who was, even remotely interested in what it is it was like for me, they could probably learn something from it. But other than that, it's just like, hey, look at me. I fucked with them all. I took them all down when they thought they were fucking big and strong. Look, this is exactly how they do it, too. Look, this is exactly how they do it. Sure. Look, I'll even call the cops and everything, try to get them to help me. But look, they don't know. They don't know either. They can't help me. So look, this is what could happen to you if you try to call the cops for such a thing that involves, like, you know, you in a very fucked up position like I had been. Well, for quite some time now. So, like I said, I baited him out. There's really nothing more satisfying. It's like, because, all the people I ended up growing up around, they're all veterans. And some of them, they were crazy about it, like they were crazy about killing people. Like, they said it's nothing's more satisfying than fucking hearing that shit go off in the distance, knowing that it saved you some fucking time. That's how I feel. And I like it. And the more and more I find about this stuff, I think I'll like it even more. But I promised myself one day, just so I don't go crazy, you know, from like liking this kind of stuff, that once it's all said and done, once I've completely annihilated these people, publicly humiliated them, shamed them, and all that shit they did to me at one point in time, then maybe I won't stick around because I don't want to get old and fucking lose myself because of all the shit, all the toxic shit I had to endure in my whole life. And I mean, I hope you all can respect that because I don't want to end up becoming the enemy just because I know what the enemy's like. Because in order to trap these fuckers, you have to know what it's like. So yeah, I'll just make sure I get rid of every last bit of it. Because if I got them this far, they're pulling arms and legs right now to be in the position they are. Last time there were dead people, literally dead people, people who are legally dead, fucking coming out and telling me I need to escape because there's some fucked up shit going on around me, just for asking why. But I didn't do it because I was scared. I was a kid then. I wasn't thinking about it, but here I am, where these fucked up and vicious people are like trying to infiltrate my psyche through my reflexes. It's like the only other thing I could think of to make the lights dim at that specific time, right? Because they do whenever I'm about to do something, is that they're trying to say my unconscious like state of thought is like something that's harmful to them because they have the publishing ability and the educational standing through institutions to say that at that point they can classify when it is someone's conscious state is being hostile towards them. They're really fucked up people, and if you don't get to them and fuck them over before they get to you, shit will look worse than even this. You won't even realize they're there. They'll just be stalking you around and following you and shit, manipulating your surroundings and shit. I couldn't handle it anymore. That's why I'm here. And they do it in such a way to ensure that, it's it's like a killer who doesn't want to be caught. They use all this shit, whether it be, using means where they're not physically there and shit, like wearing gloves to kill someone. They do it in that way. But from what it is I found out, which may mean, there's probably a lot of people who went crazy for a specific reason, is that they manipulate your mind through physical means, visual, auditory. I think I covered it in a few videos, but they manipulate it to the point where you go crazy. Because doing that, just like a bully bullying someone to the point where they bully themselves because they've been bullied too much, can actually make you crazy. And it's something they know. The only other thing that you can do is to get physical evidence of them doing it. Because then the only thing they can say is that you don't have clearance to even be there to see them doing it. Then they label you an enemy combatant because they may even be working for the government at that point. That's irrelevant because anyone could work for the government. So positions are filled in such a way. A lot of times it's not even what skill set. It's just like fucking you get voted in because you have more money than the other guy. So I'm sure they're just angry because they didn't think of this simple fucking shit before I did back in the day. And here I am proving all that shit that I even told them was the reasons why I was there when they wanted to see me as an enemy combatant when I was just a little small child. Fucking barely even growing up and shit. Like, they were trying to kill me back in those fucking days. You think I'm gonna fucking just sit down and let these fuckers walk all over me? Fuck that. So here I am. The only main reason they be flickering lights and trying to see my reaction timing and all that shit is to try to make me look emotionless, which is one of the other tactics that they do by, manipulating your surroundings and shit. They try to make you look emotionless because they're emotionless, and it makes you look more like this person they'll try to fucking have a plan B with, if it isn't just fucking isolating you and killing you and making it look like an accident or, suicide. Because why the hell would you be trying to understand someone's conscious, reactions? The only other people who do that are con artists, okay? Like people who say they're psychic. They look at your body reactions. They try to see how it is you react to shit, Who the hell would be doing that right now? It's been happening to me like almost every single fucking day. They try to remind me that they're there and they try to, last time I was around this type of shit, they try to make it seem like, oh, it's a big deal for me because you're the criminal or whatever, the suspect or whatever, and I'm the one here who has to sit around and watch your ass. And it's like, well, fucker, I'm an Indian to you, motherfucker. What you gonna do about that with your fucking criminal theories on bullshit? It's like, fuck you. You don't even know what the fuck you're looking at. And you say you're in a position to do those things. That means you're in the middle of a battlefield with no intel on how it is to get out. And you're stuck there. And the enemy is slowly moving in to find you and kill you. Because you're just shooting off, thinking you have a big head, thinking that no one's gonna find you, shooting fucking bullets in the sky, thinking you're the biggest one around. So until I see the fact that the word Indian is no longer acknowledged to describe separate nations as a whole, you people aren't right. You were never right. Uniform crime report speaks for itself. Fucking what's Asian? Huh? Fucking Japanese, Vietnamese, and fucking all that stuff. Are they all the same? Asian? What about white people? What about the history of those white people where it was just like rulers and fucking pillaging villages and killing people and taking their women and shit? What about that fucking history? Are they just all white because you refuse to tell them that shit? What about black people? Oh, yeah, sure, yeah, maybe all these tribes from all the different places of Africa at that point are just one entity, being black. But that's your bullshit. You say you understand it, so I'm gonna test you. I'm gonna see that shit. I'm gonna see how much you actually think you understand it until you fucking can't handle it. You wanna do all this flickering lights bullshit and auditory harassment. Cause you're just a little fucking egotistical little bitch. That's all you are. And you're lucky no one has found you yet, which means you're either someone who's deep within the government or you're somewhere else, like a communist. So other than that, these Americans shouldn't have studied the mind so much if they didn't even know who the fuck they were. Then on top of that, you got communism fucking spreading around the fucking earth saying everyone's a sexual territorial predator, a pedophilic predator, that it's normal and gods, people who believe in gods and shit should be hung and fucking killed on the streets just for believing anything outside of what it is they want to believe and force down your fucking throat. So I ain't having it. You people are fucking lost. And I hate leaving this type of shit on here, but it's the only thing I can fucking do. And it's sad. It's a sad place to want to live in when that becomes the reality. Using the very shit that can fucking kill you one day. Isn't that fucking sad? I mean, for a while, it got to me. I was fucking suicidal, like I said. So, I mean, I don't know how other people take it. I mean, I'm sure people probably think people commit suicide for all different types of different reasons, but is there any statistic for that? Knowing that all this shit that's being used, all the electronics and all the fucking resources to keep your fucking houses lit and all this shit is killing the environment, and there are alternatives, but no one takes them. Is that ever seen as a statistic for suicide, or is it just, never even there? Because that's the reality I see. It's just dumb bastards covering that shit up.